Ever had that heart-stopping moment as a solo female traveler when you realize you're being targeted by a pickpocket? Don't make the same mistake I almost made while solo traveling abroad. Watch on and let me tell you about my Paris subway's pickpocket ordeal, a near-miss encounter with a crafty thief that could have turned my solo travel adventure sour right from the start. Here is my Paris pickpocket story and tips to avoid being a thief's victim. Touching down at Charles de Gaulle Airport, I was eager to kick off my Camino Francis journey. But first I needed to catch a train into Paris, France, and then another train to Bayonne, France. As I navigated the airport's maze, it's clear I stuck out like a sore thumb. I had a large backpack on my back. I was in a hurry and panicked. I had no idea which train to take into Paris and was unprepared with this information upon my arrival. I was rushing, confused, and not prepared for my visit. In short, I was the perfect target for Paris pickpockets. I hustled toward the train terminal, backpack on, phone in hand, and already looking lost. At my next connection into the heart of Paris, I arrived to transfer to a new train. At the platform's ticket terminal, I purchased a single ticket and then rushed to catch the subway train. And so were a lot of other people at the same time. A surge of people all headed for the same doors as myself as the subway car pulled in. I entered the car and suddenly I felt a tug around my waist. My eyes locked on hands wrapped around my forgotten wallet sitting in my unzipped body bag at my waist, clearly visible and ripe for the picking. Slowly, my eyes rose to meet the eyes of a man who had been trying to steal my wallet from me, thankfully without success. Panicked but determined, I swiftly secured my belongings and evaded the thief's grasp. I moved away from my pickpocketer in the subway car and found a seat, but the encounter wasn't over yet. But I'll speak more on that at the end of the video. In that moment, I was relieved that I had put some measures into place to protect myself from a potential pickpocketer while traveling in Europe, even when I was a bit absent-minded because I was in a hurry. During my Camino hiking across Spain, I came across travelers that were not so lucky with their encounters with thieves. Imagine being in a foreign country with no cash, no credit card, no phone to call for help. That was almost me. Let's make sure this doesn't happen to you during your travels. Here are some helpful tips for solo female travelers to help prevent thefts and will help you stay safe as a solo adventure seeker. Let's see if you picked up on what tactic I did use to prevent the theft of my belongings in that Paris subway car and managed to save my Camino through Spain from ruin. First up, invest in an anti-theft bag with reinforced zippers, locks, anti-cut straps, and hidden compartments. Opt for body-wrapping bags or waist packs instead of backpacks. Easier access and less vulnerable to slashing. If a backpack is a must, pick out one with straps that cannot be cut and use the hidden interior pockets near the interior lining of the pack, closest to your back, not the exterior of the pack. I prefer body bags that I can keep in front of me because my valuables are within arm's reach and within my line of sight. Pro tip: use carabiners to attach the bags within bags and your larger body bag, like a fanny pack, to an item of clothing such as your belt loops in your pants. Next tip to prevent theft is to stay vigilant and trust your instincts. Security personnel call this situational awareness. Situational awareness is the ability to perceive and understand what is happening in one's environment, including potential threats. It involves being attuned to details, assessing risks, and making informed decisions based on the surrounding context. The thief is not going to be dressed in black, but may exhibit atypical behavior that even subconsciously you may be picking up on. Pro tip: choose ATM withdrawal locations that are well lit, in busy areas, preferable with a security guard nearby. If possible, know which banks are best for each country you visit and watch to see where the locals do ATM withdrawals. Be sure to apply that situational awareness when at ATMs and whenever you handle credit cards or cash. ATM withdrawal locations may be watched by pickpocketers. They are looking to see where you put your money. Try to be discreet when handling your funds. The third tip is to avoid crowded public spaces or bottlenecking groups of people. For example, groups tend to gather to catch the bus or subway. With the masses bumping into each other, this is the perfect environment for a pickpocket. One way to avoid the crowd is to move further down the platform for a subway or enter last onto the bus. Pro tip: while waiting for public transportation to arrive, keep near the crowd but not in it. Keep you back up against the wall so people can't stand behind you until you have to move to the transportation in use. Avoid situations where you are the only person on the platform. The fourth tip to keep you safe is to avoid flashy displays of wealth. Leave the expensive jewelry and watches at home. I even go as far to avoid wearing logo wear when traveling. Next tip is to keep your valuables spread across multiple pockets or pouches. That old saying, never keep your eggs all in one basket, applies here very well. Keep 2 separate wallets where each has a credit card and cash in it. Take the cash you think you will need to buy necessities during the day and separate that out, and carry it in a third location like an interior, zipped-up pocket in your pants, jacket, or additional wallet. Pro tip: many countries are moving toward a cashless society at lightning speed. Load one credit card to your virtual wallet like Apple Pay and use your smartphone to make purchases throughout your day. Just make sure that your hidden credit card is different than the one on your phone's electronic wallet. A great buy for a female traveler is to buy a wallet with a strap that can be attached to your undergarments, such as a brassiere, hidden and yet still easy to access if needed. One easily overlooked tip is to always stay informed about common theft tactics and scams at your travel destination. Many locations will notify guests that pickpockets are in the area, but one should always assume that no matter where you travel, thieves are present. Next tip is to minimize cell phone use in public. Keep it secure to prevent snatch and grab theft. This kind of snath and grab tactic can happen so quickly. Cell phones are a big target for thieves because we have our credit card and sensitive information stored on our devices. It only takes a few moments for a thief to reset the login and turn off the location for your phone. So keep your phone secure. Pro tip: many will have an anti-cut necklace attached to their phone so that it can't just be grabbed out of your hand while still keeping it tethered to your person yet still handy. One tricky tactic for thieves and con artists is to try to give away something for free, like a flower or postcard. Don't fall for this. They will just turn around and demand funds or a donation. Even if it's just €1, the thieves are really looking to see where you keep your cash. So just say no to free things or overly helpful locals. Avoid looking lost or confused. If you look vulnerable, you might be an easy target for those with nefarious intentions. Try to know your environment. At least know the general layout of the city and the main lines of transportation to where you are staying from 3 major points in the city. Secure transportation ahead of time. Use trusted services and apps on your phone, and let someone back home track your movements by texting them where you are throughout your day. Pro tip: I have family members that use a satellite GPS service to track my location while I travel. I also text them all of my transportation and travel plans so they can reference where I might be if I run into trouble. Avoid answering information-seeking questions from strangers. For example, where are you heading next on your adventure? Where are you staying while here? Are you traveling alone? Usually locals are too busy living their day-to-day lives to really be that interested in what you are doing on your travels. I know that all of this must sound a bit intimidating, but if I can traverse traveling alone as a solo female traveler and was able to prevent a theft of my valuables, so can you. Did you figure out what measure I implemented that kept my wallet from being stolen by the Paris subway's pickpocket? Here is the rest of my Paris pickpocket encounter. After I secured my wallet on the subway, I went to take a seat. That same pickpocket tried to sit right next to me and right next to my backpack on the floor. I did not stay seated. I got up right away and moved away from him. I went to the other side of the subway car and kept my eyes on him for the remainder of my trip. Here is my pickpocket before he tried to sit beside me. Despite my initial oversight in securing my wallet when I was in a hurry to catch the Paris subway, I secured my belongings using carabiners, foiling the thief's attempts. I used a carabiner to attach my wallet to my body bag, and another carabiner to attach my body bag to my belt loop in my pants. So when the pickpocket pulled my wallet, he tugged on me too. Woo! Saved by just a 150 carabiner. Hooray! So, my brave, adventurous solo female travelers that want to prevent thefts while traveling alone, remember to stay proactive, stay alert, and stay safe out there. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy travels and may your adventures be free from sticky-fingered mischief. Please follow my channel, Traversing Adventure, for more travel tips, travel destinations, and more helpful videos.